And we're back with another live stream update. I'm here with Vito Genovese. Thanks for coming. We've got apologies for the dim lighting. It's getting a little late here, but we're making do with the lighting we got. So got another Nautilus Institute member here with us, and you look much more official there. You've got like
thanks. I've dragged this around the country for the last week or so,
just so you could have
just so I could have it.
Oh, is it just for your fellow Institute members?
It is. It's well, this is just mine. You know, it's got my name on it.
Yeah, fair.
It's in case somebody else brought theirs.
Okay, this is good. You could have posed and got the good picture. So,
but to be fair, last year I was also the only one with a lab coat. So,
like everyone had them, though, right? You just were the other that brought
no. For Quals last year, that was I think the first time we brought up actually ordering them, and I'd ordered
like
one,
prototype.
And it was I had a prototype. It was blue. It had like gold lettering, and it was like, we're gonna go with white actually.
Well, now you have 2 lab coats, just in case. So tell me about like the competition this year. When we last talked to Perry, I think we were like kind of about halfway through the overall kind of challenge flow. It seems like a little bit hiccup early on, and then things have been really kind of on pace. You were up briefly, I guess, overnight. I think it was
Last night was a situation.
Yeah.
I did actually get enough sleep. I made sure to time things today, so I had some time to go outside, touch grass, walk a few miles. And then we dropped raw water, which is a challenge I was very excited to see. I was very excited to see how long it went without getting solved. And I was also very, very excited
when
to
it
get solved.
That's like the thing. So I was wondering if you guys have a betting pool of like exactly how long you think it'll take before each challenge solved, or
we don't. It's something we could absolutely look into for future.
I feel like it's an informal thing. People kind of wonder about it.
Yeah, because a lot of challenges I've done over the last few years have fallen down either really, really quickly, and then raw water actually lasted over an hour, and I was happy about that.
That was a good time. Yeah. So for like LiveCTF, obviously we're going for like fast stuff. We haven't had a single challenge last longer than an hour. Knock on wood. That's our goal. We're happy with that. We don't want them to. We've got the 4-hour built in, but we would get nervous if it starts pushing it too long. Whereas y'all, you've got a wide variety, right? Some of them are going to last, 10 hours or more.
I believe there are challenges we started either last night or early this morning that are still unsolved yet.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, an important part of the game, and something we've really worked hard on this year is figuring out which challenges are going to need a lot of time to solve and making sure they get out early.
Yeah, and getting a balance too. So it's not you're just stuck on one long thing, but you've got a couple of shorter things and kind of mixing them in, keeping the flow up.
Yeah.
And you have like this open house concept, right? Is what you're calling?
Yeah. We kind of themed it after real estate signs. So I, went around a few months ago and took pictures of like every real estate sign in the neighborhood I could find. There's lots of house themes, lots of, there's the map on the side that's designed to like evoke Zillow or Truvada or whatever.
Yep.
And it's been a fun theme this year.
I think that worked. Yeah, I think that worked really well. I've kind of enjoyed that. Are you expecting anything kind of crazy? Nothing in the wings like from here on out? You're just hoping for smooth sailing?
I'm hoping for smooth sailing from here on out, but hoping $6 will get you some coffee, right?
Yeah, you never know. So awesome. Anything else that you kind of want to mention or talk about when we got you here?
I guess the big thing is like, good game to Macaroni for popping raw water first. Really excited to see that. I, love your energy. Other than that, I'm just hoping for, a nice next 24 hours of the game
and to be done successfully with everything. Like
the bittersweet finish of the game. Yeah. Because it's honestly an incredibly fun experience running the game.
Yeah.
And, hanging out in Nautilus HQ with all my friends, especially you. And, I'll be sad when it's over, but then
you got to get ready for finals though too.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, I will not be working on Nautilus Institute's finals.
Right.
I've got another CTF game,
which I will be back and forth and trying to juggle both. I don't know how successful that's going to be, but yeah.
I wish you the best of luck.
It's going to be a challenge.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I got to pick one.
I think for sanity's purposes, that might have been wiser, but we'll see how it works. Yeah. So if you're not aware, the LiveCTF, DEF CON CTF, Hackasat are all kind of, there's going to be some overlap at finals. So this could be interesting. Exactly. We'll see exactly kind of how things shake out, but there is at least some potential for overlap. So
yeah, there's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of questions about which teams are going to be playing in which games.
Yep.
But it should be exciting. I think that DEF CON CTF it's been one of the best times of my life consistently. And I'm a little bit sad I won't be able to do it this year. But
you get to go hack on a satellite in space.
True,
pretty cool.
True,
too,
yeah.
So,
yeah. So 2024.
Yeah, that's right. You can come back and do more later. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming up to the broadcast studio. Everyone else is in the basement.
I came up here, up 2 flights of stairs, realized I forgot the coat downstairs, so down 2 flights of stairs, up 2 flights of stairs. I'm feeling the rings on my watch.
Getting your exercise. There we go. Awesome. Well, thanks. We're gonna catch up on the rest of the LiveCTF, but appreciate you stopping in.
Good stuff. Thank you.
All right. Oh, get your mic. There we go. Make sure I don't actually hot mic the secret behind the scenes content that's going on. So, all right. And now I think if we do this right, I should have. Hey, there's Glenn.
Hey, let's go.
We got our crew here this evening. It's Glenn and I holding down the fort.
Yes, indeed.
Carl gets some sleep and
Josh gets dinner or something.
Takes care of himself. So a little bit of self-care. So
yeah.
All right. Well, just to kind of recap for everybody, we just finished up Glenn's challenge, P-Trace Me Maybe, and we'll talk about that in a second. And there's hopefully a new challenge. Like, this is a little nerve-wracking because Carl is like the master of the infrastructure and he should be sleeping right now. So, but it looks like things.
It looks like it's working.
Going good. So yeah, I think we're doing good on that front, which is good. We should always have 2 available challenges basically until the end, right?
Yeah.
So don't show the ticket. You gotta stop right there. It's perfect.
Yep. I gotta
make
be very careful.
Yeah, just do it exactly that far. So all right, yeah, Glenn, why don't you tell us about? Oh wait, hold on, I hit the wrong button. I didn't actually. No one could see you. My bad.
No one could see me the whole time.
Looking at me. I know.
I could have leaked all the tickets. You saying?
You could have shown every one of them, and it wouldn't have mattered. You weren't on.
Imagine how many scores people could have sent for our team, and by our team, I mean my test team that no one else is on.
It has no points.
They could have given me all the points. I'm so jealous.
You could have qualified. What would you have done with all those points?
Would they fly me to Vegas by myself?
I don't think they fly anyone to Vegas. I think you have to fly.
Give me all 8 shares.
Yeah, just lay down while you're hacking. All right, well they can see you now. Sorry about that.
All right, cool. No, you're good.
Make sure we manage that one a little better. But yeah, so P-Trace Me Maybe. I hear Carly Rae Jepsen every time I say the name of this challenge.
It's so good.
I love the name.
It just gets stuck in your head.
Yeah. So how many total solves do we have? What was the kind of the
scroll down to show you that? Let me see what we got in the VS Code that I can look at. I'm going to go with somewhere on the order of 30.
Yep. I think I can double check it on my side.
You can double check on
another machine, but I think that sounds about right.
So while you're doing that, I'll give a brief overview.
There was one last minute solve, by the way.
One last minute solve.
One last one came in. I'll see who it is.
All right. Well, while you're looking at that, the overview. This challenge is a follow-up from last year's Syscall Me Maybe. So you might remember that challenge in which it was basically you were given arbitrary syscalls and you have to try to get code execution and like get the flag. Well,
so not like shell code. You didn't give like
no shell code.
Codes, just a syscall and the syscall parameters, which seems like it would be like instant, right? Like you feel like you could just.
Well, you'd think it'd be instant until you realize that you're only allowed to put integers into the syscalls. So like if you tried to do a sysexec VE, one of those parameters is a pointer to the location of the program to run. Like what pointer do you give it? You just give it a number. You can't put anything into a pointer and then give it the pointer. So it was a little bit tricky, but not too hard. Players found out you could use mmap to like allocate memory and, read and exec VE. That one wasn't that bad.
Receive into it, and then you've got a data you control.
But that was last year.
Too easy. That's old news.
Yeah, that was too easy. This year, all you get is one syscall. The syscall is ptrace, and with that, you basically have to just get the flag. So I'll just brief rundown of the challenge. Just in source, I saw some people asking about binary form, but I mean, this challenge, the source is basically all you need. The binary is just the same. So it forks. It has the child process stop itself and ptraces it. It attaches, and then it just takes ptrace requests, and which is just like the ptrace number, address, and then some data to copy into the buffer. And in this case, the data is just a 64-bit integer. And then it just does that. Then it detaches from the child, and then it just runs it.
So now, if like I actually haven't done a lot with ptrace directly, I know you worked on the early debugger on Binary Ninja, and a couple of the people, like a lot of people would play with that. But like, what what does ptrace give you? Like, what are the different
It
requests that you can
is
do?
effectively the full capabilities of GDB in a single syscall. So you can do things like stop a process, read registers, write registers, read memory, write memory.
Well, stopping seems like a bad idea. Like if it's your
Well,
currently running process, or
I mean, from this challenge's perspective, you're not p-tracing yourself. You're
okay,
p-tracing the child process
I
and
got you. Oh,
telling
that's
it
right.
what
That's
to
right.
do.
That makes more sense. Yeah,
So you probably do want to stop it. And like, I guess it stops itself. So that's already done for
already
you.
done. Yeah, you can resume it once you've
Yeah.
modified memory or whatever you're done.
So realistically, the solution path is not too complicated. You just need to stop the process, write some shellcode into it to get the flag, and then use the registers to like jump to the shellcode. Basically, like in GDB, if you did like rip equals some address, and then you did like write some data to that address. I always just do it in like a print expression because I'm lazy. But with ptrace, the key ptraces, like parameters you need. Does this shellcode actually say? No, I typed them all in as just numbers.
Just by hand. So look, yeah, you
Yep.
gotta look up the enums.
So like, oh yeah, it does ptrace 17 and ptrace 4. I think this other solution has the things. Yeah. So with ptrace, basically what you do is you look at the user segment. The way ptrace works is there are 3 kind of segments you can use, you can poke at. There is the user segment, the text segment, and the data segment. And on modern Linux, text and data are the same thing. But user segment is what contains like registers. So you can peek the user segment at a specific offset, pull the register out, use that to determine like the base address of the loaded binary, because of course ASLR is on. Why wouldn't it be?
Modern system, modern
Right.
defenses.
You can peek the text to read the ELF like binary out of this. This is really just like sanity checking. And then you find some shellcode. You basically find where you want to put it. In this case, we used a hard-coded offset address because why not? And then you can use ptrace poke text to basically poke 8 bytes of text into the executable memory at a time. And then you just continue, and it runs your code and runs whatever shellcode you gave it. In this case, we gave it just straight like Linux bin.sh.
Yep, standard.
Yep. And then don't forget to read the flag on the output, which is always kind of tricky to remember with these LiveCTF format challenges.
Yeah, and just as a summary for that, because that came up during the last one, the last challenge, the very first challenge we had like the win function built in. It was more of an RE challenge. You didn't write an exploit. The section function, we had originally intended to say explicitly the flag is /flag. You just cat flag, cat/flag, right?
Yeah.
But like that description didn't make it all the way out to everybody, and so we were actually as like organizers coming through and planning on saying, oh, it's not just about running the submitter or getting a shell, but like just catting. You have to get the flag. Now the submitter gets the flag for you, so sometimes you can just call that. That's not the only way to do it. And so the problem was right as we were about to update the information to make that clear, one of the teams, the first solve for that one came through. And so like that's sort of like kind of CTF best practice. Once one team has solved it in that current state, you can't like change the game because now you're making it easier. Like if no one solved it yet, it's sort of fair game to like tell people like a hint or something if you need to.
Once somebody's solved it, like they've proven it's possible with the information given. And
and in this case it was more subtle. Like it was kind of obvious in a few of the places, but it wasn't like immediately like clear. So I felt bad for a couple of teams, but I knew at least one team that did like was stuck for a while and got it figured out, so they still got the points. And there are kind of like not a ton of teams that have solved this each of these challenges. So any one you get is getting you points that nobody else can get. So that I think it works well. We've had 20 to 40 solutions, I think, for all of these kind of so far. So definitely getting like kind of like I think the top chunk of people that are making it through. So
yeah, there's a sizable number of people solving this, which is really good to see.
Shout out, by the way, to Heel Holland Hacked, who were the ones that solved with 7 minutes remaining. They got the last little bit of points.
Really
on this
squeaking
one.
it in.
Yep. So they got in just in time. But
Yep.
good for them. Now, have you looked through and seen like different kind of styles of solutions? Do they all generally do the exact same thing, or?
I've looked at a couple of them. A lot of them have different ways of expressing the same sort of idea, right? Because the core idea of this solution is I want to poke my shellcode in and then I want to go to it.
Yeah.
Right. But the ways that the different teams go about doing this is kind of interesting. And just kind of like the little, like, I don't know if I say like convenience functions that
they built
put.
a little wrapper called ptrace that's just
Yeah.
doing it for them. Yeah.
So like, for example, Parliament of Ducks, these were the first people who solved it. And they actually solved it before the ticket on the challenge page was updated.
A
Sorry,
checkbox
guys.
that got missed. Yeah, we apologize for that one, making you wait a few minutes.
Luckily, since you were first, it doesn't affect your score at all.
It might have affected the delay between you and the next.
There might have been like minus
so.
1 point, but
yeah, relative gain. So
yeah, so these guys clearly didn't waste any time. They called their ptrace helper function just underscore.
Nice.
Like, this is classic CTF style code where you're like, I don't even want to like name the variables anything good.
Yeah.
Just get me the code in there as fast as possible. Here's my shell code. Just look at this. They know what they're doing. I bet they had this pre-planned.
I would think so. At this point, for like a speed kind of challenge,
After like challenge number 2, you're gonna have one of these like pre-made,
just sitting around, because we've been using all the same OSs. We're kind of not doing anything crazy. They've got a Docker to test it on.
They're all pretty consistent, and I'm not sure if the same shellcode works for all 6, but there's a good chance it works for like 4 or 5 of them.
The ones that take shellcode, I bet you could use
any of the shellcode related ones. The same shellcode should work.
Yeah, so far
don't
anyway,
take that as a guarantee, but it's
no guarantees from here on out, especially. And actually, I think I haven't even looked at all the challenges that remain. So
yeah,
we can't promise
so
that.
I'm just gonna poke around at a couple of these people. For example, Blue Water didn't even use a helper function. They just did it all straight up in line.
It all out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun seeing people put all the constants in the code like this. Whenever I solve things, I just like type in the number. And then I have to go back later, and I'm like, oh no, what does 7 mean?
Did they even use it though? Like they said,
wow, no, they didn't. They put the numbers in there just as a reference. That's pretty good.
And then they just type the numbers in. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. The one team that keeps submitting us your IDA files, yes, we see your IDA files. It's very good. I like the license on your IDA files. It's
I don't know if we should probably, we said we were going to be publishing people's solutions. We might have to de-anonymize if there's things
publishing people's solutions in the sense of, I don't think we're distributing these person's IDA files.
No. We will at least ask them first to make sure that they're okay with it before.
They clearly have a nice little script here that has set up like all the different
same
things
one,
that
same little helper. Yeah, as soon as they get a binder, they run it and it generates them that template. Yep.
Which is like, that's a really solid idea. If only there were a consistent way, or any 1,000, I don't say 1,000, but probably half a dozen of these on GitHub that I would actually use.
So the other problem is that we've actually started to mix up the style of challenge a little bit more than we did, like I say, at finals last year. Right? We actually have included some more RE and things. So you're not always guaranteed that what you pull up is going to be it's going to be appropriate kind of for that style of challenge.
Yeah, that's fair. And one of the things that I liked to do, and I guess we like to do with LiveCTF in general, is the sorts of like smaller puzzle type challenges that would be way too easy for the like Quals CTF proper, but are just kind of like little interesting brain teasers.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't that hard, but like if you're just given ptrace and said like, hey, have at it, it'd probably take you about as long to figure out even a way to solve it.
Yeah, it's I think some of these teams are very, very good and very fast, and within just a few minutes they know the goal, and then they're just kind of executing in the next 10-15 minutes. And the ones that put together these solutions in like 20 minutes, I mean, they're basically beating all of our internal test times, which I don't think is a surprise.
I mean, that's intentional, right?
Right, like these are like very, very fast, very, very good. And
like, I mean, say for yourself, but I'm not that good.
I'm also not in a rush too. Like, I'm taking my time a little bit more when my solutions were not.
That's true.
We're not
intended to be. I really did want to look at is Flat Network Society, because they've been submitting
there
PHP.
Yeah, they
And
did.
I just gotta know, right? Like
So they've got their wrappers.
the
Yeah.
absolute
Mad lads there.
the absolute insanity to like properly typed too. Look at this.
That's going above me. Have you seen type hints on any of the Python ones? Because
No,
I don't
there's
think
no.
we
Why
have
would you type hint in a
on a
CTF
speed
speech?
challenge.
It's insane. But
Listen,
yeah, I
that-
mean, the fun thing is like you look at this, and you're like, it's basically the same thing, right? Same steps: retrieve
Yeah.
rips, get shellcode,
Yeah.
poke text to shellcode, poke user into rips.
using
So some
unpack.
teams,
Yeah.
I would say some teams did this instead. So you see, either they find where rip is in the stopped process and write their shellcode there, or they pick a section to write their shellcode and then poke rip to point to their shellcode.
I mean,
And
if
then
it's writable where rip isn't that faster, or is there a reason to avoid doing that?
there really isn't any reason to do it. It's not like, oh, welcome to dark theme o'clock.
It's
Sun
that
just
time.
said, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't really any reason to prefer one over the other. I guess it's faster if you just do it where rip is located,
Yeah.
but it is convenient to have a known value of rip, and you're like, okay, I can guarantee I don't have to think about anything that might happen here. It's gonna be right where my shellcode is.
Yeah, and like I think like Ptrace has pretty good privs to write where things otherwise
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
be writable,
It's
right? Like that's
just GDB. So
Yeah.
like you can write memory pretty much wherever you want as long as it's actually mapped. And
yeah, and
there
certainly
may
you
be
better hope that you
resources
map
to like
code at your
Yeah.
rip. Otherwise you got real problems.
there may be
Ooh.
resources to actually map codes. This one team actually put
They
all
just
the
dropped whole
constants
thing
in there. We can
Yeah.
farm that for content. Right? Like there's a whole bunch of operations you can do. Mostly
Yeah.
it's, interacting with the CPU state.
Why is there? I wonder. Oh no, poke user and poke user, but like abbreviated and not. That's an interesting choice. So they've duplicated some of this calls with like multiple names.
bet
Except
that-
also
that
ptrace
multiple
ptrace event
styles.
exit also is 6. Like that doesn't seem
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Well, there's also different constant, like different enumerations that overlap with their numbers,
right.
which
One of
can
them's-
get a little tricky if you don't put the names of the constants in, and you're like, wait, was the 6 the operation or was
Yeah.
it like the argument? Like, oh god,
Yeah, that
I'm
makes
just gonna
sense.
keep clicking around, see what else people got. Like these people used a NOP sled just in case, like.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's just standard or if they.
See, now, this is the CTF I know and love. Like, just one big list comprehension
Yeah.
is your entire.
Assemble and send your payload.
Yeah, it's so good. You write code that is completely illegible to anybody, including yourself.
I feel like I'm a little glad people don't have time to troll us. They're busy, so busy getting these fast solutions. But
Yeah, no one's gonna burn an extra couple minutes writing some trolls into the source.
I do.
mean, that's a challenge.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to
say that. Are we going to
say
get
that.
like a Rickroll to show up ASCII art at the top of one of our solutions after this? Or
I like how Shellfish is up in here, like abbreviating all of the Pwn
you know
tools
what? I
options.
think we actually saw that earlier. I think that's consistent. I think that whoever is writing their Pwn scripts is doing that consistently. They use the same ones.
Yeah, I guess it's literally like fewer characters, which means you can write faster.
Well, and it's a copy and paste. They've got those in their template already. Like
Yeah.
if they're used to them, they're using them each
Like,
time. So.
I think it's pretty convenient.
Very cool. All right, so we have again, we're actually officially past the halfway point now. So we have made it through Ptrace maybe, we made it through benchmark and through What Amazement. Currently is on Test Your Luck. We'll be back, I guess, in about 3.5 hours. And just out of curiosity, we've been going long enough.
Just take a sneak peek at this.
Yeah, they do a 20-minute solve. Like we could.
I would scroll down to see if anyone has solved it, but
no.
Actually, no. You know what I can do? I
No,
can
nothing.
Go back
No
to
solves
the
yet.
challenge page.
No solves yet. No solves yet.
It looks like no one has solved it yet. All right. Well, I guess people are going to have to get luckier. As the description says, is guessing 32 bits really possible within the span of the CTF?
I
don't know.
You're a troll.
I would say just run it on the supercomputer. Shout outs to RPI and RPISec, but you can't brute force the challenge like that because it's running on our infrastructure.
That is one difference between this and a lot of other challenges. I mean, they get a copy of it though, right? Like
They get a copy of it,
if
but
it were the same state on both sides, right?
yeah, that's like, well, without going into spoilers too much, if you can't guarantee that the state is the same, like brute forcing it doesn't really get you anywhere.
Just in general, like, the random one, for example, in What Amazement, which is done and out, right? That was random based on time, but that could have easily been something else that maybe you didn't have, which would have been a little bit harder. So
Yep.
could be interesting, but awesome. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. Glenn, thanks everybody for joining us.
Thanks everyone for solving.
Yeah, we're excited to see all the solves. Look forward to seeing some new ones come through. And yeah, we'll be back in, I guess, well, actually, I won't be back. I'm going to go get some sleep in a little bit.
You're saying you're not going to be up at midnight?
Not if I have to be up at 7. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's probably for the best.
Maybe I'll just go watch the stream. It'd be fun to to do.
You can watch us try to set up OBS. That'll be good.
It's fine. It's fine. Carl's got it. He's got it figured out. So
he's got it.
All right. Well, we got our first comment. Sola, thanks for stopping in. Actually, the other chats had more comments, but appreciate you watching as well. They just said really cool.
Oh, nice.
Thanks. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, and I'm actually not surprised. I hope the teams are not watching.
Yeah, you shouldn't be watching this. You should be solving. If you're on the team,
like, yeah, go hack harder. Like, what are you doing it? This is for people who either aren't playing or maybe, I guess, you know what? If you just need a little break, watch this, walk outside, get a little fresh air. Hope you enjoy that. But
if it's not dark already,
or stay safe if it is wherever you're at. So
yep.
All right, everyone. Take care. We will see y'all in, well, some subset of us. We'll see you all in 4 hours.